Hello, welcome back. This is our module 2, the rules for allergens information. Now the module outcome. In this module, we'll be looking at the different requirements for providing allergen information to consumers. Now at the end of this module, you should be able to identify which legislation underpins food information provision, identify the main 14 allergens which consumers must be informed about, and you'll be able to understand how information about allergens should be communicated to consumers for both prepacked and non-prepacked food. Introduction. Now this module addresses the requirement for food business operators, FBO, in providing allergen information to consumers. Any business that manufactures or supplies food must make sure that the food they provide is safe to eat. The labeling and information that is provided on the food, including the setting in which the food is displayed, must not mislead consumers. Food information legislation. The EU Food Information to Consumers Regulation (EU FIC), introduced in December 2014, set out the way allergen information must be provided to consumers. The EU FIC is enforced by local authorities under the Food Information Regulations 2014. Now, the Food Standard Agency, what is it? FSA. They are responsible for food safety and food hygiene in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. However, local authorities are responsible for monitoring and enforcing food safety regulations in their local area to ensure that standards are met. Now, food businesses must follow the allergen information rules, which are set out in Regulation EU number 1169/2011 on the provision of food information to consumers, EU FIC. Now, what does it mean? This means food businesses owners must provide allergen information to the consumer for both prepacked and non-prepacked food and drink. They must also handle and manage food allergens adequately. Now let's speak about the 14 allergens. Food businesses must tell. If you sell food to the public, it is your legal responsibility to make sure you tell your customers if any food you sell or you provide contains any of the main 14 allergens as an ingredient. Remember, you've got to do that. It's a legal requirement. Now, throughout this course, the main 14 allergens will be referred to as such or as allergens. Now, what are the main 14 allergens? Main 14 allergens are cereals containing gluten, namely wheat, such as spelt and corrison wheat, rye, barley, and oat. We have crustaceans, egg, fish, peanut, soybeans, milk, nut, namely almond, hazelnut, walnut, cashew, pecan nut, Brazil nut, pistachio nut, and macadamia nut, celery, mustard, sesame seed, sulfur dioxide, or sulfite if they are at concentrations of more than 10 parts per million. We have lupin and mollusks. Okay, now food additives and processing aid. The allergen information rules apply to the main 14 allergens listed that I've just listed, which are used as food additives or processing aid and still present in the final product. Processing aid and food additives are substances which are not consumed as a food but intentionally used in food production to perform a technological purpose either directly in the food or during its treatment and processing. For example, sulfites, which are often used to preserve dried fruit, might still be present after the fruit is used to make chutney. Omission of the list of ingredients. Now, there is no need for an additional allergen declaration for food consisting of a single ingredient where the name of the food is identical to the ingredient name, or the name of the food enables the nature of the ingredient to be clearly identified. For example, a box of eggs or a bag of peanuts. However, where the name of the food is less familiar, allergen information must be provided. For example, gingerly oil is sesame oil, therefore it must be labeled contains sesame. Prepacked and non-prepacked food. While allergen information is always required, the way in which it must be communicated to consumers differs between prepacked and non-prepacked food. Let's speak about the prepacked food. Food is considered prepacked. This is very important. Food is considered prepacked when it is put into packaging before being offered for sale, and it's either fully or partly enclosed by the packaging. Prepacked food cannot be altered without opening or changing the packaging. Prepacked food is ready for sale to the final consumer or mass caterer. Example: most prepacked food are sold in retail outlets such as supermarkets. Example of these include tinned food, ready-made meals, and frozen food products. For example, frozen food product, tinned food, and ready-made meals. Allergen information for prepacked food. Now, prepacked food must have an ingredient list which can be identified by a suitable heading and include the word ingredients. Any of the 14 allergens must be emphasized in a way that clearly distinguishes these from the rest of the ingredients every time they appear in the ingredient list. For example, allergens can be highlighted in bold if you see below the picture. Now, what about non-prepacked food? Non-prepacked food include food sold loose in retail outlets, food which are not sold prepacked, such as meals served in a restaurant and food from a takeaway, prepacked for direct sale food, PPDS, such as sandwiches placed into packaging by the food business and sold from the same premises. Food packed on the sales premises at the consumer's request, such as a sandwich prepared in front of the consumer. This is very important. Remember, from 1st October 2021, prepacked for direct sale food, PPDS food will require the name of the food and the food ingredient list with the allergens emphasized. Let me say it again. From 1st October 2020, the PPDS, prepacked for direct sale food, will require the name of the food and the food ingredients list with the allergens emphasized. Examples: in a retail environment, non-prepacked food include food which is sold loose from a daily counter, such as cold meat, cheese, quiches, pies and dips, freeze pizza, fish salad from a salad bar, bread sold in bakery shops, etc. Now, in a catering environment, non-prepacked food include food ready for consumption, such as meals served in a restaurant, cafe, or purchased from a takeaway. Now, allergen information for non-prepacked food. Allergen information must be provided for each food that contains any of the 14 allergens as explained before. Allergen information may be provided by any means the FBO chooses. For example, in writing or orally. There must be clear signposting to where consumers can obtain this information when it is not provided upfront. So you must make sure the signposting is very clear. For example, if I enter any takeaway shop, so I need to be able to see the notice. Notice says food allergy notice. Please alert your server if you have any allergies. So people should be able to see that notice. Okay. What about pre-packed for direct sale, PPDS? Now, PPDS food is food that is packed before being offered for sale by the same food business to the final consumer on the same premises, on the same site, on other premises if the food is offered for sale from a movable and or temporary premises such as marquees, market stores, mobile sales vehicles, and the food is offered for sale by the same food business who packed it. Now remember, in this instance, site refers to a building complex such as a shopping center or airport terminal in which the same food business operates from more than one unit within the building complex. So any food that is packed on the premises by the same food business in anticipation of an order before being offered for sale would be considered to be PPDS food. Now this can include food the consumer self-select from a chiller, cabinet, or has to obtain from a member of staff. Let me give an example. A sandwich is placed into packaging by the food business and sold from the same premises. A cafe giving away packaged samples of a new range of cakes they have made on the same premises. Food packaged and then taken by the same operator to their market store to sell. A butcher who makes burgers or sausages which are prepacked to be sold on the same premises. Now, identifying what a PPDS food is. Now, for a food to be PPDS, it must meet all of the following criteria. Number one, is the food presented to the consumer in packaging? If yes, the food is prepacked. If no, then this is non-prepacked food. Number two, is it packaged before the consumer select or orders it? If yes, the food is prepacked. If no, then this is non-prepacked food. Number 3, is it packaged at the same place it is sold? If yes, then the food is prepacked for direct sale. If no, this is prepacked food. If the answers to all 3 questions above are yes, then the food is PPDS. Now, what about distance selling? Allergen information must be provided if food is sold through distance selling, for example, online or by phone. Remember, this must be done at 2 stages in the process. Now, before the purchase of the food is completed, this could be in writing, for example, on a website, catalog, or menu, or orally, for example, by phone. The moment the food is delivered, this could be in writing, for example, on allergen stickers on food, or enclosed hard copy of menu, or orally, for example, by phone. As best practice, the allergen information should be available to a customer in a written form at some point between customer placing the order and receiving the delivery. Takeaway meals should be labeled clearly so customers know which dishes are suitable for those with an allergy. So this is the end of our module 2. Okay, I hope you've been taking some note. Now next we're going to be going to our knowledge check. So what we're going to cover in our knowledge check is everything that we've just spoken about. Right, knowledge check. Number 1, so you're gonna have to choose the correct answer. So the first one will be FBO stand for. So the FBO stand for A, the food business organization. So B, the food business operator or the business owner. And C, fish breakfast oatmeal. And D, food baking outdoors. The second question will be the local authorities are responsible for. Local authorities, wherever you live, for example, we live in West Yorkshire. Our local authority is Leeds City Council. Now, the local authorities are responsible for A, arresting and punish food fraudsters. B, monitoring and enforcing food safety regulations. C, enforcing the quality of food. So you're gonna have to make sure you choose the correct answer. Number 3, the labeling and information that is provided on the food is the responsibility of A, the manufacturer, the food business operator, business owner, the consumer, or the delivery driver. Number 4, food is considered prepacked when it is put into packaging before the food is manufactured, or after the food has been sold, or before being offered for sale. And last D, after the food has been delivered to the consumer. Number 5, the Food Standard Agency FSA is responsible for A, supporting individuals, their carers and family to think and act more healthily wherever possible. B, enforcing the quality of food in restaurants. C, arresting business owners who commit food fraud. D, food safety and food hygiene in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. And the last one, number 6, choose the correct statement. Food business operators in the retail and catering sector are required to provide allergen information and follow labeling rules as set out in food law. Is it true or false? So thank you so much, and I'll see you in our next module. which is going to be module 3, providing accurate allergen information for pre-packed and non-pre-packed food. See you in the next video.